Wargi, Sangye Shingdum Nikte Wargi, Jokun Nanda Shingla Chuparsho, Yang Guru Ratna Mandala Kamyatayani, Chelan Sogi Chonamla, Janchu Bardu Dani Gyatsuchi, Daki Chunyen Gibe Sonamgi, Jola Benchir Sangye Druparsho, Chelan Sogi Chonamla, Janchu Bardu Dani Gyatsuchi, Daki Chunyen Gibe Sonamgi, Shola Benchir Sangye Druparsho, Shilan Sogi Chonamla, Jamchu Bardu Dagni Gyatsuchi, Daki Chunyen Gibe Sunamgi, Shola Benchir Sangye Druparsho.
Schmuggity, schmuggity. Take the screen. Take the screen, young man.
Okay. Question 1. What are the 4 levels of yogic practice? So not the details around them, just like generally what actually are we talking about when we say the 4 levels of yogic practice?
4 versions of emptiness.
Yeah.
Different kind of understanding. Understanding.
Yeah.
I would say dealing with your mental afflictions on 4 different levels, 3 of which are suppression, and 1 of which is we're going to see is destruction.
4 increasing emotional understanding. Oh yeah. Oh, so you just want the name for the 4 in general.
Oh, that's for Tibetan? Yeah, just the, how do you say it? We had it last time too,
Yeah.
just review.
Don't forget the carver wanted to make it an instrumental.
Yeah. And now Jork's
Now Jorki,
Jorki Sa?
yeah, now Jorki-sa, she. Chatur Yogachara Bhumi, something like that.
Wait, Keshla, you said instrumental. Is it supposed to?
No, I'm just saying that guy,
Oh.
the carver repeatedly put GYIS.
But it's actually.
Yeah, it's Kisa.
Yeah.
And it took me, all these things take me time. I sit there for a day and I'm like, oh shit, he miscarved it. And then I throw out everything I did and
Thank you. What are the gotchas for the first 2 levels? What do each of these levels do to your mental afflictions?
Just take a shot. Takpa?
What are the gotchas? Takpa's the
I think it had 2 parts.
One is outside and the other is out there.
It's the first level's gacha is the first 2 gachas in the 6th floor.
Good.
So emptiness,
What are they?
unchanging and
Self-standing.
Okay, and now Kaso?
One is the gacha is that something is outside.
Yes, that's number
2.
And number 3?
Number 3, the gacha is out there.
Kind of. Yeah, it's
Nice.
exactly. Okay, and what do they do to your mental afflictions?
You should wait till he offers money.
Okay, I will offer money. Okay.
Yeah.
anyone can do it.
Okay.
How much?
Okay.
50 cents.
$100.
Whoa!
Without looking at your notes. If you're looking at your notes, forget it. If you just look at your notes, forget it. Okay?
Okay, I got it close.
Remember
Computer's closed.
from last class how
I
to
can make back
spell
1%.
the 2 ways to say suppress that we went.
Damn, that's hard.
I know Wait, let's see. Okay, Nick Ryan.
Say Chihuahua.
Okay,
Say Chihuahua.
Okay, here you go.
TSEGCILBA. Say Chihuahua.
Right?
Say it again.
Wait, are we talking-
BA, Chihuahua.
So what?
And then go Ngumpa, MGO, GNON.
That's a 100-cent answer.
No, it's
No.
no. It might be
Okay, mixed out. Anyone else?
I gave most of the answer.
Well, it's like Jeopardy. Anyone?
No cigar.
So anybody from a GCIL?
It doesn't work that way.
MGONG?
No.
Owl and
It's
Zen.
nun. You're close. Not
Owl,
nun.
no?
It's nun.
Yeah, nun. That's what it is.
No, he said NGO.
Oh.
He's talking about that, right?
SS. Just try every prefix.
You didn't try everyone actually.
No,
You
I
didn't say
didn't.
the one. No one did. But anyway, you
That's
guys.
MNO.
He saved his money. He saved his money.
Yeah, okay, no more money.
No more money, honey.
No, he's safe doing
Don't
it. 'Cause
ever-
He always wins.
Pretty good word.
Rank it too big.
Okay,
was
so
a-
you guys did
that's
them all. There's a,
I want to see the spelling.
Charm.
this is the Tibetan. Oh yeah, we're about to do that. There you go. MNAN.
What? Oh, Nun. It's not Nun?
It's not.
I definitely said MNON. And I'm pretty sure it's MNON or N something.
This is directly from the text.
Nice Chinese.
I didn't make it. Oh yeah, and there's the Chinese.
Yeah.
I found it. It's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the great dictionary. Okay, good try though.
How much money?
Zero.
You had your chance. And then what, how is the fourth level of yoga practice divided?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Three
Parts, three stages.
Yeah, okay, good. Hassel got it. But, and what are those three parts?
Contemplation,
From internalization
and
Enlightenment.
Basically, yeah. Those two and that one. Yeah.
Wait, what was the third one?
Enlightenment, he said.
Yeah, specifically destroy the obstacles to omniscience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. And that's it. Yeah, who needs to know these things? Okay. All right. I'm done.
Done?
Yep.
All right, that was cheap.
Thank you, Word. That was fun.
Where's the STW?
Sexy
We
time.
had them.
Oh, it's
We had it.
Sprinkled
Yeah.
throughout.
I integrated them.
So we're on the fourth of the four yogic steps. The fourth is divided into Samchungi Rikpa, which is kind of like, I think it's Rikpa, but anyway, understanding that you get from thinking, understanding that you get from internalizing, and then by the internalizing, you're finally able to get rid of your obstacles to Buddhahood, omniscience. The first one was talking about understanding your apperception, right? And understanding how things are like an illusion, okay? And the second one was talking about how things couldn't be a self-existent one, apparently, and the difference between things existing and things not existing, and how those differences are imputed and not natural. And now we got to the third stage of the fourth yogic level. And then we're done with the four yogic levels and we can go on to what we really want to go on to, which is the eight scriptural proofs of
Kunchi.
for Kunchi. Yeah, because this is just an aside. We're doing all this because of 4 syllables he threw in there. 5 syllables. Well, it depends on how you carve it.
That's true.
Okay, so let's break this down. Let's just do. Let's do this much. Okay. Please go ahead.
Sumpani tetar chikten ba lampi gompe totrupa na losel wa kachiki norbu chu shall tangila sopa hensun draw mindo war chita parshe wa shinhu.
Yeah. So here's the third one, which is the fourth level, which is the third part of the fourth level, which doesn't say Chilwa anymore. we're going to have destruction.
Gonunpa was correct, by the way. According to the dictionary, that's both.
Yeah, you can have a number on it, but the rest was messy. So anyway, apparently we're going to get destruction now of the mental afflictions. Before we just had suppression. Okay, so here we go. And by the way, when they discuss these yogic levels, they're careful to say they spread across the paths. Like they might start at Jorlam, go to Tonglam, reach Gomlam. You know, one level might involve multiple paths. Okay, so here we go. Deta ni Jiktenbe Lam ki. You use Jiktenbe Lams.
Worldly paths.
What's that mean?
Worldly methods.
Well, the point is they're go numbers and they're not destroyers.
Yeah.
So worldly paths mean, like in an extreme example, you could say psychological ways of dealing with anger rather than realizing the husband was never there. So worldly methods of dealing with emotions, like psychology, that don't involve understanding that the person you're angry at isn't even there, which according to Buddhism is the only way to destroy anger. So we call them worldly paths. They're going to end up giving you worldly results and not nirvana. Okay. Chitembe lam ki, gombe top ki. You keep practicing those first three levels. Okay. Then drupana. Then a few losawas.
Bright-minded people.
Yeah, and one of the colleges of Ganden, for example, is it?
Losaling.
Or is it Dibung?
Oh,
That's
I don't know.
It is
That's the
Dribung.
Mongolian school, right?
That's Gomon. But anyway, so losel means bright-minded students, usually losel. Kachiki, the opposite of what the author was describing yesterday about sleepy students.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and losel kachiki. Now, here's Drondok.
Mm-hmm.
Overestimate, to think, I don't know,
Domito.
a piece of glass is a diamond, for example. Okay, and he says these people don't make the mistake mutually of drone doking between chuxiao means normal chuxiao means crystal,
Yeah.
but it's not very valuable. And then mu,
So,
silver. So apparently, I don't know what he's saying, but I think he's saying some people might mistake crystal in a mine for silver. Okay, in the gleam of it, you know, and one is worthless and one is very valuable.
So cubics are going for a diamond.
Yeah, some people don't make that mistake. Okay, and Jita worship a Shindu, and they don't think that the first husband exists, which is like silver. Okay, he's actually just like crystal. Okay, he's not what he looks like. Okay, he's not a real husband. He looks like a real husband. He's not a real husband. But they don't make that mistake. Okay, Domi Doper. Let's go this piece here. Okay, go ahead.
Tenang ki chulpe tenma tada pangpa gyuma tabwe takni tu kyurpe chutam che denme tu nangwe lo nam par mitopa.
Yeah, let's start here at Bangspa. They have eliminated Tadak.
All, each and every.
All. Senma means indicators or signs, but here it means false signs, like the gleam of the crystal, which might indicate that it's silver, but it's not. Okay, so Senma means false signs, where you could make a mistake because things appear to be real. Okay, so they have eliminated all those. And they see that things are gyumatabu.
like
Actually,
Yeah. Dagni to Gyobe Chutamje. They see that all things in the universe are actually composed of, made of,
illusions.
being an illusion. Their content is illusory. Okay? which means they see that all of these objects are denme.
Lacking in.
So to them, these objects appear as unreal, whereas other people, they appear as the real thing, like silver as opposed to crystal, okay? And that state of mind where they understand that things are not real is called namba mitopa. No longer imagining that things exist from their own side. So he's describing people who've made it, and they see everything is illusory. Probably it refers to direct perception emptiness, which comes sometimes called namba mitopa shiram or something.
Which is also close
Topa
to
is a
non-conceptual.
greasy word. Excuse me?
Also close to non-conceptual.
Yeah, it is close, but it's different. Okay. Let me see. Let's just do the whole thing together. Rangi Nyawatar.
Their own experience. Yeah. And you're probably supposed to read it.
Let's cut it here.
Oh, microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Microphone. Microphone. Please go ahead. Rangi.
Rangi Nyongwata Shenla Jukyang Jupa Tamki Shenla Te Tabwe Nyongwa Kemi Nupiechu.
$100 if you can give me the fourth syllable word that describes this line. $100 for the fourth syllable word that describes this line.
Dependent origination.
That's a lot.
That's a lot more than
Okay.
There's actually a 3-syllable version also in the tantras.
Unless you be big hands.
Okay, cancel that. Judamepa or Jupalendepa. Malende. Jupalendepa.
Expression.
Yeah, indescribable. So they always talk about emptiness as indescribable. But what's that mean? Beyond all words and thought, right? Beyond all words and thought in the sadhana, right? So judame, samlede junende, okay? Sam junende. So here's this, if you ever reach that expression, indescribable, you can refer to this line. Because this describes it correctly. Yeah, this describes indescribable correctly, which is often not the case. Very few people describe it correctly. Okay. So, Rangi Nyongwatar,
Its own
You
experience.
experience it.
as you have experienced it yourself in the direct perception emptiness, you try to Shenla Ju.
Try to explain it to others.
Yeah, describe to others. But, Kyang, just by Jupa,
Just by explaining alone,
they can't get that Nyongwa.
they can't understand that experience or have that experience.
Yeah, they can't generate that experience in that way.
Yeah,
Okay, in the same way. Minu cannot be done. So the idea of indescribable when you're talking about emptiness is that an Arya can describe what happened to them, but not in a way that's going to trigger the experience in the other person in the next 5 minutes. Okay, that in that sense the experience is indescribable. Okay, very famous description of indescribable. This one is correct. Okay.
Who we're in.
We're in the most advanced part of the 4th level.
Right. This is gold, so it's.
We're in Dongtun Chemu, Kedupje.
See this tattooed on the forehead of a few people today.
Yeah. Yeah. But there it is. If you ever, if someone ever lays this on you that there's no use to debating emptiness because it's indescribable, you can say that's not what indescribable means. Here's what indescribable means. Okay.
So isn't there some time in the sutras where like Lord Buddha does talk about it and then people go into the direct perception?
Yeah, like the first turning of the wheel. I mean, the first teaching ever for noble truth.
So if I ever fallen asleep, boss, you probably just really nailed it.
Yeah, most likely. Okay, Neldropa Sosa Rangi Rinpochawa. As the yogi
Yeah.
has individually understood it, okay, Rinpochawa, Jishik Dayang, Yandapa Kepana, if you are able to repeat that experience or create that experience, and then, which is a direct perception of emptiness, and then you take that experience, Kong Ne Kong, higher and higher, okay? Higher and higher. And then it becomes Kepatu Cure. It reaches an exceptional level. Dopi, by that power, you will bang, rim ki misspelled. Okay, it's totally misspelled. This one means by the plague. This means by the plague.
The seed for mistaken conception.
Yeah, okay. So if you keep seeing emptiness and you keep working on it, you will eliminate all your seeds to see things as self-existent, which even an Arya still has, right? But then they'll get to the end of Gomlan. And in the end, okay, that yogi will be able to bong all their Shejadupas, obstacles. And that's the end of the 4 yogic levels. Okay? All right? That's a footnote. All that's a footnote. But he didn't mention what in the 4th one that he mentioned in the first 3.
Suppression.
Yeah, he's not talking about ways to feel better. He's talking about ways to get rid of it. Okay, yeah, okay. Now we are allowed to go back to... There's still something of interest in the original line where we took off from, which is 6-7 pages of notes back. Here we go. Where is that? Where is that? Do I have to go back further?
No, I think it was below that.
Let's see, GZHI. I know it's there. That's not it. This is it. This is what I want. Okay, we didn't finish the sentence. We just got this far, the 4 levels of yogic practice, okay? So through the 4, and he's glossing a verse by Tsongkhapa. Here's the verse, okay? It contains the 8 reasonings, but first it introduces them. Okay, so here we go. Please read this paragraph.
Tangponi, Niljoki Sashi, Gone, Chupa Nyamnen, Tenapep, Sensampe, Shun Luk Tektu, Sokne, Kunchi, Tang Nyun Yi, Drupje Ki, Rikpat Taye, Songkyang Kunchi, Drupje Ki, Netuna.
Yeah, now 3 words for mind-only people.
Yeah.
Semtsampa.
Nojoa.
What is it? Nyonjo Chupa. Or Namrikpa. Yeah, explain the 3.
Simsampa means mind only,
Yeah,
Chittamatra in Sanskrit,
good.
and it means like about the kunchi and how
Yeah.
it works with the seeds. And then Neljo Chupa means like yogis or yogacharya, but it literally means practitioners in general. And
Yeah,
it's not
literally people who follow yogic practice, and then...
And then Namrikpa, we translate as conceptualist, and I believe it refers to people who believe in those other consciousnesses.
Well, it's a synonym for mind-only guy.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
true extra consciousness, that's why
Yeah.
they call them the conscious.
Yeah, good. Mentalist. Something like that. Okay, now... we tend to call Yogacara person who engages in yogic practice, okay? And but it would be nice if there were a definitive line which actually said that, and here you go. Okay, he is glossing chupa. Okay, chupa is root text, and he's got here a positive. which nails down forever in your life the word charya, Yogacharya. Okay, so what's it mean, yoga doer? It means, activity here means personal practice. And that's cool. Okay, so now this is, you can have footnote this for the rest of your life. The Yogacharya, which is a synonym for Chittamatra, which is all synonyms for a mind-only school, means people who undertake a personal practice of yoga, meaning trying to see emptiness. Okay, cool. Okay, so if we want to tenla bepa that school's beliefs through the description of the 4 yogic levels, okay, if we want to establish what do they believe, we should refer to the Shungluk of the Simtsampa.
Main text, the scriptural.
Yeah, the scriptural tradition. And he gives one example and he says etc. And he mentions Tekpa Duba, which is Tekchen Duba, which is Mahayana Sangraha, which is Tengyur text number 4048 by Master Sangha. Okay, so but he hits on one. And you should know something. We're going to spend a lot of time digging through some commentaries to that because they're going to explain the 8 reasonings for why there has to be a Kunchi. So ultimately, that's the source, Mahayana Sangraha, but it's too obscure. So we're going to spend our next, 4 or 5 classes in a commentary. But just be aware, and by the way, your author, Rick Biralchi, is going to quote those commentaries directly. So we have to stay in the commentaries. But you should know that they are expanded versions of this poetry, which is totally incomprehensible. Okay, so we're not going to, if you wanted to spend another couple of weeks on it, you could go back to Tekdu and find the roots of these 8. They're there, but they're obscure. So he's being merciful. He's going to take from the commentaries, the Tengyur commentaries. He's going to quote them directly. Okay, so anyway, be aware that they come from Tekdu, but they are not, we're not going to use Tekdu because it's too obscure. Okay, Sokne. So based on the presentation of the mind-only school, which itself describes the practice of the 4 levels, which is what it means to say Yogacharya, we're going to go, and again, ignore these double commas. He's just being cute. We're going to go in those books. How many reasonings were presented for Kunchi? Good, which means
Endless.
infinite. Don't tell me 8. It's infinite. Okay, you know how many arguments support that Kunchi must exist? You can't count them. Okay, you can't count them. Okay, but kyang sung kyang. Okay, let's just summarize them. Ne do na means let's present them in a short way. Okay, who's talking? It's really Tsongkhapa. He's saying, look, I'm just gonna boil them down to 8. Do na means boil them down. I'm just gonna boil them down for you. Millions have been spoken. Let's get it down to the main ones. Ne, okay. Then I'm gonna skip all my notes about the 4 yogic levels. Okay. And I put the verse back at the bottom of those notes to remind me where we are. Okay, because I went off on that for like a week. And then I said, where are we? Oh, we're back on these 8 proofs where he's gonna abbreviate the countless ones, do, into 8, gedu, into 8 different reasons why Kunchi must exist. For example, the first one's easy. If there's no Kunchi, what crosses the lives? if there's no kunchi. You lose your eyes, you lose your ears, you lose your nose, you lose your thought. What travels across the lifetimes?
Yeah.
What stays? What's left? If there's no kunchi, you cannot have rebirth. The first one's easy.
It's reasonable.
Mayengar. So now the 8 proofs are classically divided, okay, into debates, straight proofs, okay, some are straight proofs, and some are reasons why if you said Kunchi didn't exist, you would contradict Lord Buddha. So the proofs, the 8 proofs for Kunchi are divided into 2 groups. Number 1, if you don't accept Kunchi, you contradict Lord Buddha. Okay? And the second category is just straight proofs. This is why Kunchi should exist. Yeah. And kind of Lung and Rick, yeah. Unfortunately, different authors identify different ones. Okay. All right.
Lean towards sutra and some lean towards thought.
Well, just be aware that the 8 arguments in favor of Kunchi are classically divided into 2. Some are showing why you would contradict the Lord Buddha's direct statements if you said there was no Kunchi. The other is just you would be illogical if there was no Kunchi. Okay? Then I put in your reference folder, I put all of Ngawang Pelden's work. Okay? So my strategy, my suggested strategy, as I mentioned before, let's go through Rigbe Relti's version, which is kind of short. Mm-hmm. Then let's go to Ngawang Pelden's version, which is kind of clear. And then let's go to Tsongkhapa's version, which is definitive and unclear. Okay. And in that way, we're going to knock off some of the hard part of Tsongkhapa 2 years from now. We'll already do it. Let's do it while it's fresh from Ngawang Pelden.
So is Jason Kappa clear after we know?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
But, not before you do Ngawang Pelden. So I propose that we have an appendix of Ngawang Pelden, because he's super clear. But first, let's do Rigbe Relti. Rigbe Relti's explanation goes in 2 parts. Number 1, he kind of just quickly says it, and then he gives logic for each one. Then he goes into each one. So don't be disappointed by the first part, which is too short. Okay, got it? Okay, here we go. And I asterisked the ones that are supposed to be pure proofs. And I didn't asterisk the ones which are supposed to be arguments about it that might contradict sutra. Okay, just for your edification. Okay, here we go. Here's the brief version of the 8, which oftentimes doesn't tell you anything. Okay, here we go. Number 1.
Just read number 1?
Yeah. Yeah, and the bold is all you have in the root text. It's just take. The whole first argument is take. Take. Okay? Which means take birth. Which means if there's no Kunchi, you couldn't take birth. Because there'd be nobody left to take birth. Because you don't have your sense organs, and you don't have your sense consciousnesses, and you're not thinking. Okay? So, Lu Lenda Mirungwa. Here's the short version by Rigbe Relti, but he's going to have a longer version. Okay? You couldn't take a body if you don't have a mind. Okay? Number 2. Yeah, all Tsongkhapa says is first. One word. He says first. And Rigbe Relti's first presentation is, it would be wrong to say that you first entered, but we don't know what, or where, or what he's talking about. Okay? So just leave it at that. Okay? Third one. Yeah. Enter clearly. And I want to point out something. The first 2 are phrased as what would be wrong if there was no Kunchi. it would be inappropriate to say you took a body. It would be inappropriate to say you first appeared. And then he drops the inappropriate. So you just have to understand it's still there. Okay, got it? It's confusing. Okay, the third one just says entering clearly, but it probably means you could not have entered clearly if there was no kunshi. Okay, got it? It's inconvenient. And there could be no seeds of good things, meaning there would be no place to put them. Good. Okay. Yeah. So just word has to understand. Keep repeating the miruma because your author didn't. Okay. It doesn't mean there are seeds for bad and good karma. It means there couldn't be seeds for good. Okay. Got it? It's confusing. All right. Please read number 5. Yeah, you couldn't have the 6 engaging in operation. Okay, this lay doesn't mean karma. It means working. They couldn't be doing their thing if there was no kunshi.
How do you get 6?
I'm sorry, I just happen to know. Okay. Many operations could not be going on at the same time, chikchar, if there was no kunshi. Meaning, you couldn't hear, smell, taste things kind of simultaneously if there was no kunshi underlying them, okay? There has to be some continuity of consciousness as your awareness skips from what you see, what you hear. Your awareness is jumping around to your different organs, but there has to be a foundation underlying all of them that unites them all. Something like that, okay? These are all kind of interesting. It's kind of trying to prove a foundation state of mind that underlies all experience, okay?
Exactly what I was trying to do.
Yes, very good. Very good, Professor Word. Lula Kyabetsorma. How could there be feeling
That pervades the body.
which pervades the entire body if there's no kunshi? Okay. How could you engage in a cessation meditation? Who's going to engage in it if there's no
And who's
foundation?
out of it afterwards?
Yeah,
Nothing there.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's very similar to rebirth.
But there's a whole argument about that in the higher school, right? Like, who?
There is, yeah.
That makes sense.
And the last one is easy. How could you
How could you go to the next, die and go to the next life?
die and move on? Now, what am I going to say about this Miruma?
Distribute?
Nice. Distributed to the last 5 or so when he gave up using Miruma.
Yes.
Okay, so Sawa Jupa Miruma, Gemege Saba Miruma, Chichadu de Dubenji Miruma, Lula Kabitsava Miruma, Gobinyam Miruma. Okay, yeah. Tsongkhapa doesn't do it. Tsongkhapa assumes you're going to figure out it means distributed. Okay. What's this line mean?
It means, this is a condensed version of how I explain the 8.
They can be condensed into 8.
Okay.
Those Rikpa Tayepa,
The countless.
the countless proofs can be, what do you call it? Consolidated into 8, and I'm gonna Shepacha.
Explain those.
Who's I?
Jason Copper.
Yeah, nice. Very good, very good. Keep going.
Hey, Drupche dit hap kanjal le sumpe tik chung te sel to tanga.
Okay, they dupje, the proofs for it, meaning Kunchi dupje didak, these proofs for Kunchi are described in the Kanda.
In the auto commentary.
Yeah, the auto commentary, Tsongkhapa's own auto commentary. And I'm going to take those 6 of Tsongkhapa and let me try to clarify what the hell he's talking about. because you won't be able to understand it from him. Okay, he's very, very polite. He's saying, if I was just to clarify a little bit about how Tsongkhapa said it, Chung Se means, you want me to help you a little bit on that? You know, and we're like, yeah. Now there's a Tibetan tent thing, this little tent thing. And that's kind of a parentheses around a number. So in this manuscript, he puts the 10 thing at the end of each one.
Where the 10 things are?
The 10 thing looks like this, and there's a number in the middle of it.
It's on the book.
Huh?
It's close to the end of the book.
I don't think so. Or maybe it is. No, it could be, yeah. So I'm going to go through. Here's some notes I have. A few small notes here. Sorry about that. Oh, that gets out of hand. Anyway, trust me, there's a 10 thing at the end.
No, I saw it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So here we go. Now, we are going to get Rigpe Realty's version. And then we're going to go to Ngam Pelna's version. And then we're going to go to Tsongkhapa's version. And then we're almost to the end of the text, I think. Then we go back and do the real text. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's the first one, which was just called what in the root text? One word. Len. Take. If there's no kunchi, you can't take. Thanks, Tsongkhapa. Okay, so here it is. Please read.
Kunchi mena lu lenpa mirunte lu lenche me peche.
Yeah, if there were no kunchi, lu lemba miru.
You couldn't take a body.
You couldn't take a body because there wouldn't be any
Body to take.
body taker. There would be no body taker. If all your consciousnesses disappear when you die, then who takes the next consciousnesses? Okay, so there must be a kunchi. There must be a foundation consciousness. Okay, I disagree.
It's got to be that way.
Their tell.
So
It is true the case that you wouldn't have any body taker because
the collection of 6.
the 6 normal consciousnesses, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and thought, for 5 different reasons. Okay, gone here means 4. For 5 different reasons, could not be the Lu Lenche.
Right, yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Sure.
So don't forget, we're in the first logic,
Right.
which is that if there's no kunchi, you could have no one to take the body. And then there's a counter argument. Well, the 6 consciousnesses could take the body. And then there's 5 classic arguments against that. So, okay, got it? We're still inside the first of the 8, but it has 5, which is counterproofs of why the 6 consciousnesses can't take a body. So we're going to go through those 5 for fun. Okay? He doesn't go through them, but we're gonna. Because Ngam Pelnan does. Okay, so here, and Tsongkhapa does, I believe.
5 minutes.
Okay.
5 years.
A year, for example.
Yeah, so for 5 different reasons, so don't forget the gone. For 5 different reasons, the normal collection of 6 consciousnesses cannot be the Lu Lenche. Cannot take on the new body. And Tele Shemme.
There's no one else.
Yeah, who else is going to take that? Is it technically correct?
No, there's a 6.
Yeah, there's number 7.
Oh, Nuni.
Nyunyi, I mean, maybe Nyunyi takes it, but he just says, either it's a 6 or nobody. Either the 6 take your next life or nobody. Okay? I don't know what happened to number 7. He doesn't get any
Maybe I
credit.
figure if you're going to take,
Yeah.
get rid of the kunchi, get rid of that too.
Okay, go ahead.
Tokjuk termi rungwe gyuten shenshi ni kanjal tu selshin tik du su tope nirmi min gula.
Yeah. Now, apparently he's going to treat one of the 5. arguments about why the six cannot be the body taker. Now, what's he going to do with the other four?
He's going to refer.
Okay. He says about those other four reasons why the six consciousnesses can't be the body taker. They are clear in the Kanda. And I'm Topa.
I suspect.
Yeah, I fear that I would Singdu means Singdu means
Incorrectly paraphrase?
I wouldn't do it justice.
how do you say it?
Right.
No, it means to repeat.
Oh.
Redundant.
Yeah, I don't want to be redundant.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, if you want to learn four of them, go get them from Tsongkhapa. But I'll treat one of them because apparently Tsongkhapa doesn't treat that one so well or something like that. Okay, so the implication is I'm going to give you one, but for four, go back to Tsongkhapa because I don't want to waste your time because I would just be repeating what he said. Okay. We okay?
Yeah, we're 2 minutes left.
Okay, so these five are listed in Angam Pelden. Here's his commentary. Maybe good to do as appendix. And it's interesting that these are from his Parchin. These are from his presentation of the lower middle way. But he gives the five. Okay, here's the book's name. Okay, just for your footnote. Okay, Parchin Chiden Sawe Dunme. So it's a circle from the 4th chapter of the 8 chapters of Dralpa Dunsa, which is Hari Bhadra's commentary to the Abhisamankara, okay? Which is classic source, okay?
So it's not that Chittamatra has a whole text on mind only.
No, but he treats the whole 8 very nicely.
In a parchment?
Yeah, in a Parchin text. Why? I don't remember why he went off on it.
Oh, okay.
But God bless him for doing it, because no one did it in the mind only. We have time to read this.
1 minute.
Okay, let's read this part here.
Nipa rikpala mile kunshi ripani neonjor chupe shumlukne chupche rikpa ta yepa sung kyang len tang tangpo sel saben le tang lutsol tang
Keep going.
num chup chipo mi rungwa get tu cherndi sheja shesung so.
He's just quoting this verse
Yeah.
from Tsongkhapa in the middle of a lower mind only text. Okay, he says, I'm going to give you 2 divisions, which is proofs for Kunchi and proofs for Nyunyi. For Nyunyi. 8 proofs for Kunchi, 6 proofs for Nyunyi. Okay, we didn't get to the second thing yet. That's going to be another term probably. Okay, so then he quotes, he says, you want to know the proofs for Kunchi, the classical proofs for Kunchi? Go to Tsongkhapa's mind-only text. And then he quotes our verse. He quotes the verse we're in, okay? He quotes it. This is misspelled.
Time's up.
Okay, what he's gonna say is you get these proofs in Mahayana Sangraha by a Sangha and in the Pumbangaya Rabje, which I think is Vasabandhu, called the Divisions of the 5 Heaps. Commentary on the 5 Heaps, okay? So you're gonna get it there. They come from there, as I said, but they're too obscure. And he's gonna help you with them, okay? All right. Stopped here. 5-9? Yeah.
Like goes on. Sashi
Shipaki Joshi Metotam Lira Mingshi Yinde Yembadi Sangye Chendu Mite Uargi Jokun Dakshinga Chuparsho Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kandriya Dayami Di Kewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Tsotsok
心，色那灭谢雷中为，达巴库尼托巴修。
Shogadi Shmogadi. Yay!
This is really fun.
His text is, I don't know, the harder it is, the more fun it is to